Well, the first thing I guess I would say is that most of the things in the Haudenosaunee people, they stand up when they do something, usually. But on certain things like death, like for instance the death, they sit down when they're doing it. Like the 10-day feast, they usually are sitting down when they do that. But others, they're standing up. All the speakers usually stand up. And what that means is the way my grandma and them told us that you know who's your faith keepers and you know who's your chiefs, even of the different clans, because that's where we grew up, so we see them all the time. So, or any elder, you're taught to have respect for them, man or woman. So when one of those leaders or elders or faith keepers stand up, if you observe it, if they want to talk, they'll just stand up. And if there's a commotion or talk and visitation going on, they'll just stand there, and pretty soon you'll notice they're standing up. Then all of a sudden it goes down because they've seen him standing up. That means he wants to talk to you. So you don't have to holler and say, everybody listen up. You don't have to say that. All you got to do is stand up. Then as soon as people see that, they get all quiet. You don't have to holler and tell them to quiet. That's the tradition. And that's the way the kids we were told. As soon as you see one of them stand up, be quiet, listen. And so I wanted to share that with you too, so younger people may know that as well and understand that. To always look at your leadership and your grandmothers or your faith keepers or even your elders, when they stand up, that means they're going to say something usually. So be ready. And the way we do it where we live, in our longhouse, on the south side of our longhouse, that's where I'm from, the south side of our fire in our longhouse, because I'm a Bear clan. And then on the other side, on the north side of our longhouse, the fire, is Turtle clan and Wolf clan. That's where they sit. Because the Mohawk has only 3 clans, traditionally and historically have only 3 clans. And it's that, Turtle and Wolf and Bear. But after Sullivan's raid, Clinton Sullivan's raid under George Washington, when they attacked, Cayugas and Senecas and Onondagas ran away from being killed. So they went north to where the Mohawks live. We weren't here, no, we were already in Akwesasne that time. And so they came over there to seek refuge from the campaign of destroying from Clinton and Sullivan. And a lot of them married the Mohawk over there. And so after the problem went over, then some of them went home, not too many. Most of them stayed there. So since Clinton and Sullivan's raid, we have now over 2,000 population of Snipe clan. And Mohawks don't have Snipes. But since George Washington's time, we have over 2,000. We have more Onondagas living with us than there is in Onondaga nation. We got more population living with us for the last 200 years. So they have become Mohawks. Even their language is all Mohawk too. Real fluent. And they consider themselves Mohawks because they've been there for 200 years. That's if they know the history. If they don't know the history, they think they're Mohawks. But if they know the history and culture, they know they're really descended from Onondagas or Seneca or Cayuga. because they have Snipe clan. And we also have Deer clan, and those are from other nations. Still we have them there. And we also used to have Eel clans, and the only people who had Eel clan was Onondagas. But we still have a few families of them, but most of them are dying out now. They turned into Mohawks because of the man married a Mohawk woman, and then the kids become Mohawks. So they didn't die out, but they die out because of the matrilineal. And so since the deer and snipe and eel lived with us, before that, the bear clan is always on by themselves on the south side of the fire. So when they came, they had a meeting about it. Where are they going to sit in our ceremony house? So they agreed. The wolf and the turtle said, well, you bear clan are always by yourself all the time. So you probably need help. So we're going to fix it. So all the snipes and deers and eel that here, they will sit with you as the bear clan. So since George Washington's time, we now have snipes, and we used to even have some beavers too. But mostly it's snipe, deer, and eel. But I think the beavers kind of died out on us. They are intermarried. So now we're not alone, the bear clan. We have those others. So if the fire is here and the fire is over there at the end of the table, this will be south, this will be north. So when you go in our longhouse, everybody that's on this side are wolves and turtle clan people. On this side of the fire, everybody is on a bear clan, principally, and snipe and deer and eel or beaver. So it's two house in one house. The ganusage, that means two house. So if somebody dies over here, there's a wolf or a turtle, they call those people, when somebody dies there, Ludiniko ko talaum. Ludiniko ko talaum. That means their minds all fell on the ground in sorrow and grief. That's what it means. Ganigumla is your mind. Ludiniko ko talaum. It means it fell flat on the ground because they're crying and they're in grief. That's everybody over there. Even if you're not directly related to them by blood, but you're still of that clan, so you're still like a brother or sister to them. So they're all in grief. And they will be like that for 9 days. So because their mind is on the ground, the people over here, the bear clan and who was with us, they call us during the time of death of them, they call us Ludiniko Kohte. It's the same word except different action. Ludiniko Kohte means their mind is strong. Their mind is tough yet. Because they're not crying, they're not in grief, because they didn't lose anybody in their family on their side. So Ludiniko Kohte. So if Ludiniko Kohtalam, their mind is on the ground here, they're crying, they can't hear, they can't think, because they're in grief. So Ludiniko Kohte people has to go over there and hold them in their grief. And because they can't see, because they're crying too much, they have to guide them for 9 days. They have to aid them, because we're considered their cousin. They're our cousin, and we are their cousin, and so vice versa. So when we talk to each other, whether it's in death or in ceremony, when we talk to each other, the two houses, we say, that means, my cousins, are you home? And then they'll answer, and then you tell them, what do you want? And then when they answer, they'll tell us the same thing, my cousins, are you home? And then they answer us what we ask them. And that's how ceremonies goes on. It crosses the fire. In my language, we call it Ngachihiyake, means pass it over the fire. And that's how laws are made too. So when it passes over the fire and goes to the three parties, because one clan is like a judge, and when it passes the two houses and the judge part, which then it becomes the law of the Mohawk. But if you're talking about the Confederacy, it's the same procedure except a higher scale. So in the Grand Council of the whole Six Nation, on the south side sits the Mohawk and Seneca. And on the other side, it sits Cayuga and Oneidas and Tuscarora, since they came in. But at the head fire is the Onondagas. So the Onondagas and the Mohawk and Seneca are considered older brother. And Cayuga and Oneida and Tuscarora, we call them younger brother. And that's the two houses. Onondaga will be the third party, but the firekeeper. So they don't participate in the debates initially. It has to pass the first house of the older brother, Seneca and Mohawk. It has to pass unanimously there. And when they have all agreed to make a law, then it crosses, and Ngachihiyake means it crosses the fire to the younger brother house of Cayuga, Tuscarora, and Oneida, and they have to unanimously agree with the other older brother house. In the meantime, the firekeepers is over there. They don't participate in the debates or discussion initially. They only listen intently to both sides as they're debating and trying to come up one mind until they reach consensus. And when both houses agree, then the younger brother throws it back over to the well where it began with the Mohawk and Seneca. And they'll say, we agree with you, we're all of one mind, consensus. Then the Mohawk and Seneca will send it to the Onondagas, the firekeeper, who haven't been part of the thing, they've only been listening. And they'll say to them, we've been listening to as you were discussing this back and forth. And we've seen how you have all agreed unanimously, consensus. And so we don't see anything dangerous or wrong with the way you've come to the conclusion and decision. So we all agree, Onondaga, that it's right. And so now we are all of one mind with you. So now all three sections of the legislature of the Grand Council, that's the procedure how you make law. Then that becomes the law of the land. And that's the procedure. So, like the Mohawk, just the nation of the Mohawk, it's the same procedure except it's not nations, it's clans for the Mohawk. The turtle and the wolf is like the Oneida and Cayuga. And over here it's just like the Mohawk and Seneca, but it's just Mohawk. They're a bear clan. Well, now we got Snipes in with us because of the whatever. So when they die, we go over there and we dress their dead. We wash their body and dress their dead. And then we talk to them, the dead people, tell them what's going to happen since they have died. And when we dress them, there's words we have to say there, a ceremony. And then on our side, we're going to send speakers to them when they're laid out and when they're going to have funeral. our speaker's got to speak for them because they're crying. And all our woman is going to cook for them for 9 days. Make sure they don't get hungry while they're crying. We have to do all that. And then our men is going to go over there and dig the grave to bury their dead from our side. We have to do everything for them for 9 days. Then on the 10th day after they're dead, then we have what they call Haudenosaunee, means they will raise their mind back off the ground. They sit flat on the ground. Now, Haudenosaunee, they will raise their mind back up. There's a big ceremony for that. That's what these things go for that. Some of them. That's where they recite those things for them. So that they can see again and all that. And rejoin the nation and no more grief. So when a chief dies, that's different a little bit because they're leaders. So if a Mohawk dies, then who's going to raise the new Mohawk chief will be the Oneidas, and the Cayugas and Tuscarora will come to condole and to raise a new leader. If one of them dies, then the Mohawk, Seneca, and Onondagas got to go there to raise their leader. So it's the same as a Mohawk, except it's chiefs this time, and nations doing it instead of clans. And that's how it works. That's what these things are for. That's what all those 50 chiefs right there in that circle want them. It's broken up like that, and younger brother and older brother. And so when they would meet with the American colony people or the Dutch or the English in later years, it was first with the Dutch, they used this wampums, these three here that I got here, because they don't know in the Dutch, when they meet with the Dutch, if they have lost a loved one in their town or where they come from. Or they don't know if they're crying or they're thinking is dirt of the dust of death on their mind, so they can't function their brain because they're in sorrow. And they don't know if they can speak because the lump is in their throat because somebody died. So when somebody dies that you love, when you want to talk, instead of talking, you cry because you're in sorrow. Or if you want to eat food, maybe you'll vomit or you can't swallow it, don't taste good because the spirit is stuck of death in your throat. So it impedes you to live normally. So we don't know if when we meet with the Dutch or the English or the American people, if they have lost people, where they're from. So that's why our leaders, when we meet with the other nation, whether it's non-native or other Ojibwe or Lakota, they will use these three to first clear their eyes and their ears and everything so they can function, so that agreements can be made and understood and clearly understood. And that's why they do this. So they will say to them, they'll start. Usually they'll do what they call Ohondagai first. When they meet with somebody or have a meeting, they do a Thanksgiving address, which all the Haudenosaunee people, see, that's where we're different too. Cayugas and Onondagas and Seneca, they say Haudenosaunee. Mohawk and Oneida, we say Haudenosaunee. Almost same except the first syllable. Onondagas say Haudenosaunee. Mohawk say Haudenosaunee. That's the only difference. Same thing. So then they say to them, they do that Thanksgiving. first. And that reconnects us as a people and who we represent back to our Mother Earth, our beginning, and it reconnects us with the waters that quenches our thirst, reconnects us with the trees that makes oxygen we breathe to live, reconnects us with the birds so the joy of the miracle of each day is enjoyable and we have a good life because the birds are singing. Introduce us all and I represent back to the four wind, to the sun, to the moon, to the thunder, who are our grandfather. So that's why they do that Thanksgiving, to reconnect everybody, the representative leader of each of the nations. So when they go back, they reconnect them, they tell them what happened at the meeting. And then, and do so, they are reconnecting, are taking the dust off of their entire village. Whoever's the representative has to tell them. So now they recite that again too. This is what we did, this is what we heard, this is what they did to us. And so they're reintroduced to the Mother Earth again, and to everything, right to the Creator, the other spiritual world. That's why we do Thanksgiving. That's why they have to do it. And that's why when they have meetings, either just Mohawk or Cayugas or Grand Council, they have to do that. And when they finish their meeting, they got to do it again. But that's how they taught us, by using different things to remember by, I guess, key words. So it's not just an opening. The opening has lots of meaning of reconnection, along with this too. So, but if we were going to do this right, that's what. But they don't usually do the opening on the death part. But when they meet with other nations or in meetings, they do. Here, this has got its own word, like, because death for us is the same thing as the midwinter, the same thing as strawberry dance. It's equal in importance to death. Is equal to all spiritual. So nothing stops when somebody dies. If we're doing a midwinter and somebody dies, the two are equal. So if they have to interrupt the midwinter because of death, they will hold the midwinter and do this right in the middle, do the death, and then continue the midwinter. Because it's the same, death is the same as, it's important as the ceremonies. See? That's the way they told us. So now, I'm going to go ahead and just follow the way they had done it. And they'll say first, and they meet together, and they'll say, that means my cousin. That's how they talk to the other side or another nation. Or else they'll say, Yatadega, which means my brother. Or they'll say, my cousin, either one. And there was that means put your ear way up so that you can hear what I'm going to tell you. That means to me, like a rabbit, got big ears, they got to stand up so they can hear everything. And that's what that means to me. Listen up. Negati nuwa menisladi. Nene go nyungwe taki go nuwa kwaya tayeli. Ne kwala seitsa. Negati yahti ang kwationdala. Nene adalaswa menisladenyo doni aons. Nene doka nuwa kanola na awane. Chino de soyaga. Ne alihuni kati wiwahe. Chindo waile. Mala seitsa. Ne kati chikalu hiadake. Nu. Ayakwati honto. Ne kanya taliyo kaneho. Uskonundo. Uwila kaneho. Karako ni wasukuton. Negati a yakotste. Negati wi wahe. Negati sogalagunson. Yagwalagowanyo. Nani jirani kun raksons. Ne one onka kweni a kwe kon swat kahton. No hodo songo ya diso lukotako huncha kweko. Songo ta sua on on seko. Negati ne wakotste. Kiko oniko ha. Negati wakokotako on on kwe kon swat kahton. No na songo ya diso lukotako huncha te. It says, my cousins, we don't know from day to day. Sometime death comes where we live, where you came from. And because of that, maybe your eyes has got a sadness, a grief, and a tears in your eyes. So with this wampum, we take from the very beautiful blue sky a white cloth that's made out of a little baby deer's skin that's pure white and soft. We call it a cloth from the beautiful sky. And my cousin, in the event that you have lost somebody in where you come from, and there are tears in your eye, we use this soft cloth and we wipe the tears from your eye, my cousin. In that way, you can see tomorrow how the Creator made the beautiful world we live. You will see everything the Creator made. And you will see everything, each other, clearly. And with this wampum, my cousin, this is what we do in the event that that has happened to you. They put it on there. And by the way, I was going to start with this ear, but something came and it made me do this one. Remember when a while ago, that's what happened just now. It's not our decision, it came from over here. Onakati sego kola setson swatahun sadat. Nekati wi wahe chinudi sawayagon. Yahtiin kwatiyon duka kanola na awane. Ta nua kati wi wahe ne so takun so. Ta nua yitawiyato o gonla judeka o gonla. Ne ka kweni yahtaiswa tunte ona yakwatati. On the Nordunio, Jidon Suma. Negati wi wahe, Jigaluhia Take, Yaguago, Gaston Serio. Negati Waquatste, then some Tagunson, Wakala Wanyo, on Takum, on Nagaqueni and Swatamusa that, the Neginia one, Yaguawinicone. On Negati Oyokran and Swatunde. Aje dans son den rodunyo agwe kon swatunde rodi lona noknioni nena le diksa son aje nus de soyagon on awi on dadi on swatunde ni oni nega di wa akotste gi ko ne go ha ne wa de ni doston nega di wi wa he on nega di ne wa ko wa da go so tang son on agwe go oyu yanoro ne. Now he said, with this one, my cousins, where you came from, we don't know if somebody has passed away, it causes grief to you, and maybe the dust from the fire of your live where you live was hit with dust, the death, and the fly all over the dust of death, and it goes in your ear, and it makes obstacles so you can't hear when somebody talks to you. And you can't hear the birds to sing anymore. And when somebody dies, that's what happens. It impairs your hearing because of grief. And so my cousins, what we do with this wampum, we take from the very beautiful blue sky eagle's feather, beautiful feather. And we use that, and we wipe your ears, the dust of death from your ears, the obstacle. So now, my cousin, you will be able to hear the words when we talk to you. And also where you live, when your kids and people talk, you will hear their every voice. And so, my cousins, with this wampum and this feather, we clean your ears so you can hear again everything. Dagadi ne, wala seitsa ne, seikuti sadang siust. Ne kati wi wahe, ne yahti yuli wadoga. Ne wi wahe, da nua chinudis wa yagan. Da nua kanola na awane eto. Doga ske ni awan. Ne yushi haraon so nya dogan. Ne so ni kun laksons. Ne wi wahe adunhes yushi haragon. Ne jahti wa geso ne aisa wa wanina kane. Ne nioni na kakwa swatska ja tamdo ste. Nka yuta te. Jisu wa tawe jihon jade. Ne kati wich jindo waile kola seitson. Ne chikalu hiatake ya kwa ago. Ne kahne giyo unukwa. Unkwa ne kanut. Ne so ne gila. Ne kati wi wahe ne ang shihara akong atu hits. O ne kati ne wakeso ne nso wa wanina ka ne. Ne wi wahe wakeso ne nioni wadohis na kakwa. O ne kati ne nso yanoro ne. Ta kati ne wakwate nioni seko ni unigoha. O ne wakwata ako ronya tok. Ona kati wi wahe, ne agweko skone angahak, ne so anigula. Ona kati wada, eko deli wasaluni, sina da wadale, going kwaya da yeli. Da kati nyuch ne so anigula kola seitson. And then he said, with this wampum, he said, we use it because where you came from, my cousins, maybe there was a death that causes grief. Where you live, and you carry that. And so when that happens, the spirit of life gets caught in your throat. So when you want to talk, instead of talking, you cry. Or because it's stuck in your throat, if you eat food, it won't go down right. And it causes disruption of your life. And so, my cousins, what we will do with this wampum is we'll take from the very beautiful blue sky a glass of medicine water, and we'll give it to you to drink it. And that will cause that lump that caused by death to go down, open up your throat. So when you talk, you won't cry, but your words will come out. And because we give you this water, it'll take away that lump in your throat caused by death and grief. Now when you eat food, it'll help you and you live good. And so with this medicine water, we give it to you, my cousin, so that everything will go good with your throat again. And so now with these things we did for you, we removed the obstacles. So now you can hear, you can see, you can talk. And now we can have a meeting to make the agreements that we need to. And it will be able to do that because we have removed the obstacles. And that's what we have done, my cousins. And that's it. That's all. And that's basically what they're saying with those. And they did that when they met with the Dutch every time. And when they met with the colonists, they did that. And if they meet anybody, if it's Ojibways or Lakota, that's what they would do. And we still do that too. Yeah. That's over maybe 2,000-year-old custom.